Okay, in this section, we will study the geometric definition of these parabolas, ellipses, and hyperbolas. They are called the conic sections, and which is the intersection of the cone with a plane. For example, we are given a cone here. A plane cut this cone at this position, it will create an ellipse, right? If it cut horizontally, it will be a circle, right? A special case. Or if it cut like this, it will create a parabola. Or if it cut this way, we call it a hyperbola. Okay? 3 different cases. And we'll go to the easiest one first, parabolas. Parabolas are, okay, take a minute to read it yourself. Okay, please look at the notes. Okay, is it clear? So a parabola is a collection of points that are from that point to a point here, a given point here, we call it a focus. And the distance from any point in parabola to the focus and the line here, we call it directrix. They're all the same, equivalent. And this point here, we call it a vertex. This, we call it the axis, okay? And the special case of this parabola, can you give me an instant example that we normally see and pick that in the class? Y is equal to x squared, right? That is a special case. Anyway, this. Okay, and an application of this is very interesting. For example, in headlines here, if we place, suppose this is a headline, right? And the ball is placed in this position, and all the lights from that ball will be reflected parallelly to the parabolas this way, and it makes the headlights very interesting. Okay, and many other applications. So anyway, from 3D case, right, the distance of 2 points will be square root of x1 minus x2 square plus y1 minus y2 square, right? The distance of 2 points. In this case, in 2D. And suppose we're given a point P having the coordinate x, y. The distance from this point P to the point F will be, what is it? Thank you. It will be x square root of x squared plus y minus p squared, right? And from definition, we know that the distance from this point to this directrix will be, what is it in this? Y plus p, right? This is the distance from P to the directrix here is y plus P. Okay. Then we do some computation. Again, we get rid of this radical sign by squaring both sides of the equation. And do some algebra, which gives us this equation. We call it the equation of parabola. And from this expression, the focus will be 0p here, right? And the directrix is y is equal to negative p. Okay. From here, if we divide both sides by 4p, what do we have? Thank you. Y is equal to 1 over 4p of x squared, condition that p is not 0, okay? Then if we define a is 1 over 4p, we have this equation. Okay? And here, if p is positive, suppose p is 1, right? Or you will see the special case. If p is positive, it will be a positive number multiply x squared, right? You see that the function y is equal to x squared will be somehow like this. So just that is the very interesting case to memorize how it behaves. Okay. Concave up like this. And if p is negative, then the parabola would be like this. It's concave down. Another things, okay? If, look at this equation. X and negative x. For example, x is negative 1. Y will be a, right? If x is positive 1, then y will also be a. It means that this is symmetry with respect to the y-axis. No matter whether positive or negative x give us the same result, it is symmetry in that axis. Okay. Okay. Another types here is y, the function where y depends on x, right? Symmetry with respect to y. Another similar things. If y squared is equal to 4px, then again, it has a similar shape. It would be like this. No matter what value of y or negative y, give us the same x value, right? X and y rho are interchanged, and the parabola becomes like this, or like this. Okay. Anyway, let us do the very first example here. take a look at this equation. Y squared is equal to 10x. Okay. So y squared plus 10x equal to 0. It means that we can write x as a function of y, right? And how can we do that? If we find y in terms of x, we need to do the square root things, right? It's a little more complicated. Subtract y squared and then divide it by 10, right? We know that x will be that is one way. Thank you. Or look at this. Look at this formula here. Can we write this equation in this forms? Right, it is negative 10x. If we write it in terms of 4 times something, right, it will be? Thank you, look. Very good. Yes, here. Or y squared is 4, and if we simplify this guy, it will be, what is it? Okay. So look at this in the notes here, right? The p, therefore, what is p? The value of p, right? So, therefore, the focus will be P0. Look at this. How can we memorize these things? Okay, let us do it this way. Now imagine that this is the graph, okay? If, okay, y squared is equal to a negative things, right? If x is negative, then it makes sense, right? Therefore, the graph should be somehow like this. Do you agree? The value of x should always be negative. That is one thing we observe now. If x here is positive, then a positive number multiplied with a negative things here, it doesn't make sense. Because on the left-hand side, y squared should be a positive number, right? It means that the graph cannot point this way. It doesn't make sense. Okay? We observe that. Okay, then the focus will be, if that is the case, then at y is equal to 0, okay, look at this. At y is equal to 0, we will able to find a point in this parabola. Do you agree? By looking at the shape of this. we know that at y is equal to 0, x will be the focus here, right? -5/2. Before doing that, let us say so this is the point. And let us call it the point F. The focus is here, right? And negative. So the directrix will be wait. We have the focus already, right? And the directrix is 5/2. Okay. And if x is equal to 0, then we see that if x is equal to 0, then y will also be 0, right? So this is the point in the graph, in the parabola. And at x is equal to 1, at y is equal to, let us play with some different y. If y is equal to 10, right? No, not 10, but okay. Anyway, let us just graph a parabola like this, right? We know it should be this way. Then for more specific, for the points to compute more accurately, we should pick some more points. For example, if we pick y is equal to 1, therefore we have the relation 1 is equal to -10x, right? Therefore x will be right. It means that if y is equal to 1, is right here. Here it should be -1/10. Okay. Okay, just go home and redo these problems, and we will see each other tomorrow.